Good morning and hello my gardening friends. Well, it's hello from me and Nigel is currently in the field and I'm going to shortly join him. But today, well, this weekend, nothing more exciting than just the basic clearance is done. Hence, we're not taking you there because, well, we all have probably just a little bit of tidying up, clearing up the leaves, making the mulch, having a look at your compost and so on and so forth. So we're not going to be doing this out from the allotment. And to be absolutely honest, sometimes it's really nice not to film something, just give 100% to the task at hand. I think I watch quite lots of your vlogs and everybody is talking about what they're doing in January sowing wise. Now, I will be sowing some things in January, not massive quantities, but few varieties of. And the first thing which I will be sowing in January are onions, which I have never done before. Last 3 years I've been growing onions from sets, and more or less like everybody else's experiences, I would say half of half, some of them bolt. So I wanted to give it a try. Now I'm going to be sowing them in 3 seeds to a module. The modules I'm going to use are this type. So and I will try to do more varieties. So I actually see, that doesn't always work, but I am a trier. I'm going to do a few varieties and see what comes up quite well. Yes, you can do this all very theoretically and look at the length of the day, the light, everything else that the onion needs. But sometimes it's just the position really of your garden. And even though we are in zone 8, I think B or 7B, I need to check that. I will check that and put it on the screen. Your particular garden might be specific, and certain things will sometimes grow under your conditions better than others. So I like to experiment, although let's say there is a lot to be said to do this fairly scientifically. These are the onions I'm going to be actually growing. So we're going to do some spring onions and some normal onions. So I'm going to try the Red Baron for red onion, normal onion, and then this was free with the magazine, so it's organic Sturon onion, heavy cropping, long storing. So that would be interesting to see if it actually works. Then I'm going to be doing some of the spring onions, which is the Ramrod, again, that was free with the magazine, grow your own. Then we're going to be doing purple spring onion called Lilia, and white Lisbon. I grew that onion before sowing directly, and it was really good, and even overwintered. And it's supposed to be spring onion, and then bulbed up to be. I was able to pickle it, so that's great. And Welsh onion, the Welsh walking onion. I'm going to do that. So these are my onions. I'm going to obviously re-sow this. The sweet peas, the germination on them was absolutely fantastic, and these were all my own seeds I collected. I've got some left. I'm going to be resowing those. I'm going to be resowing, but that's in February probably. I'm going to be end of January maybe. I'm going to be sowing at least 3 varieties of broad beans. That will be probably purple flowered, Carmazin, and I will try maybe Grano Violetto again. I think at least these 3 varieties. I love broad beans, it's a staple. The other things which is kind of wanted to have a little chat about is the seed potatoes, because I normally order my seed potatoes in October. They usually arrive sometime second half of January. And if you haven't ordered, this is the good time to order some. You might even get a bargain at the moment from some of the seed companies. Previously, I have ordered mine from Marshall's, and this year, just because they had all the varieties I wanted in a kind of quite handy 1.5 kilogram packs, because again, I like to do more than 2-3 varieties. I've ordered 6 varieties from them. They're not with me just yet. Let me just see, I've got a note somewhere here. What I have ordered, and hopefully, you know, the later than send them, the better. Less likelihood to go something wrong with them in my woodshed, being wrapped up in a bubble wrap in the dark, so they don't sprout. So what I have ordered was the very early, extra early rocket, and Arran Pilot. I love Arran Pilot. We didn't have them the previous year. You just couldn't get the seed potatoes. There must have been massive failure of those, but they are back in stock. So Arran Pilot is my another first early. From the second earlies, I'm gonna have Charlotte, because that's everybody's favorite and ours as well. And Vilja, I don't know how to pronounce that. They are great. I love them. Then I went to try other varieties, but I'm going back to this particular variety. And for the main crop, we have Picasso and also Pink Fir Apple, which I grew last year. They are specialty potatoes. They looked a little bit like, they're pinkish in color, but they looked a little bit like ratte, or, you know, the kind of elongated, look a little bit really like Jerusalem artichokes. Now, I've been recently to the garden center, and I can't help myself when I'm there. I also bought some potatoes when I was there, and these are, I can't remember, this is just 8, I don't know what weight of them are, but there is 8, I think, potatoes in this pack, and these are called special seed potatoes. Plant now, grow your own. These are Blue Danube. So I might wait with them a little. Plant March onwards. So it's not exactly. So this must be first early. So that's Blue Danube. And also another plant now, March onwards, is special seeds, 10 Arran Victory main crop seed potato. So this one that is main crop, but plant now. So obviously longer period. And this one is also main crop. So although these are not first early, these are actually main crop, but plant from March onwards. And they both they look quite purplish here underneath of that mud in a picture. So that would be interesting to see. Blue Danube and Arran Victory. So these will be probably the first ones which will go in. I will start cheating them sometime in February. And for now, they're going to go in my special box into the woodshed. Well, there is lots of other things I'm going to be starting, I think, end of January. And that's aubergines. And I usually grow 2 types of aubergines. And I think this year I'm going to try maybe different varieties. So I think aubergines, chillies. I also start the celeriac, which we love. We love the celeriac potato mash, but it's also very good substitute for anything in stews and soups and so on. So I think that's it, and that will be the end. And then beginning of February, we're gonna start on some lettuces. Before we go, I just want to show you a couple of things. I have been, all my chilies in a greenhouse are dead. And I'm not surprised about that. We haven't wrapped the greenhouse this year, and we haven't wrapped them either. So not big surprises that none of it survived. However, I brought some this year to have them overwintered here in what I called the link room. So here is one of those which I brought home. And the reason I brought it home, because it's grafted. As you can see here, it's grafted. And I thought, well, it was quite expensive in the first place. Closer to the date, I can see there are little insects on it already. And it's not even in a greenhouse. Well, we'll need to do something about that. Well, this one is called Naga Red. And another one of those I have is called is another chili, as you can see also, and it's already having little white fly on it. Oh dear dear. This one is called habanero chocolate. So they only will go into the greenhouse if I can eradicate that white fly before they go. There don't seem to be over any other plants in my house. And this is the rest of the chilies I brought home. So some of them, they've been kind of reduced, and you can see at the tips they are trying to sprout. Some have some of the leaves still attached. Well, some didn't survive even though being at home, and they've been watered. So I've got 2 casualties. So all in all, 4, 6, 10, 12 chilies are still at home. And some, if the conditions were better, would re-sprout. I will move them to a better light from this study area because it's a little bit dark. So this was our second week in January, sort of a video, very different to the most of the year I've been posting from the allotment. And well, from me and Nigel, all the best for your gardening week, and hopefully you can share and chat to me what you are sowing and what is happening in your sort of gardening plans. And if you know anything about the potatoes, especially those I bought in a garden centre, and you would like to share with me, that'd be great. And hopefully we see you next week, perhaps on the allotment. All the very best, and it's a goodbye from me and Nigel. Goodbye.